Robert Chagulanyi, commonly known by his stage name Bobi Wine, has been in the music industry for over 15 years now. His music mostly tackles social issues like poverty, injustice and inequality. Because of the social themes in his music, different people came to view his music as a form of activism even when he wasn't active in politics. In 2017, Bobi Wine was elected as the Member of Parliament for Chadondo East in a by-election, making him an active politician. However, since he entered active politics, his ability to host live concerts has been curtailed by the security agencies. In November, Bobi Wine held the controversial Challenger concert only after a number of cancellations and a lot of back-and-forth negotiations with the police. Ever since then, his efforts to hold other shows or even perform at fellow artists' shows have been futile as the police has continuously blocked his shows. Today, he was expected to excite revelers at his One Love beach in Busabala, but the police blocked the show on claims that his show was not cleared by the police. However, last week, the Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, had tasked the relevant ministers to explain why they have continuously blocked Bobi Wine's shows.
That means this is intentional to deprive him of his rights to perform his economic rights and enjoy his freedoms economically and socially in this country.
I will say these are occupational hazards.
Why don't you be clear and state the reason? If you are fearing Chagulanyi, state it openly that the man is too hard for us, and we know.
One stoppage affects thousands of people. So they asked me to tell you that that issue needs to be addressed, that they need to be assisted to carry out their activities.
Parliament, through the Speaker, passed a resolution declaring the blocking of Bobi Wine's shows as unconstitutional. We talked to analysts about the continued actions by the police. According to Yusuf Serunkuma, a researcher at Makerere University, the latest move by the state to block Bobi Wine's show is to save Bebe Cool, a pro-NRM musician, from embarrassment.
I think there was worry that Bebe Cool, who represents the regime, will be terribly embarrassed if most people went and had a show. You know how it plays out on social media. After the show, we often show the pictures, who had the biggest crowd, and most highly likely that Bobi Wine was going to have the biggest crowd, all right, which will dwarf Bebe Cool's crowd by leaps and bounds.
He also noted that the relationship between Bebe Cool and the state is simply to create a balance between the two artists.
What we see, the affair that Bebe Cool enjoys with President Museveni is partly a process of creating a counterforce against Bobi Wine, all right? So empower Bebe Cool as possibly could, so that he presents a counterforce against Bobi Wine.
Serunkuma believes that the president still finds it hard to counter Bobi Wine, who doesn't belong to any political party, hence the state resorts to blocking his shows.
He's a politician who has refused to start a political party, because Museveni is more comfortable with political parties, right? If you have a political party, he has the software to manage you without being violent or without breaking the law. So Museveni can cheat political parties from within the law, all right? But Bobi Wine presents a different character. He has refused to start a political party despite so many persuasions. So he represents a movement. So a president who wants to stay in power forever doesn't have the means to manage a movement within the law, all right? The only way he can do with Bobi Wine is by breaking the law. So what he's doing by stopping his shows is actually breaking.
According to Serunkuma, Bobi Wine has walked the talk more than other artists who have used music for activism on the continent. Charles Romshan, a security analyst, says by blocking Bobi Wine's shows, the president is trying to contain a radical group.
And there is a strong military threat against Mr. Museveni. So you don't allow or permit the proliferation of radical groupings within communities that anchor in religion, that also anchor in extreme or in extreme politics. You don't allow it. You suppress it at its nascent stage. It goes beyond that level, then you are finished.
Romshana also says Bebe Cool has a very specific reason for allying himself with the people in power.
That is just simply to relax minds that are not very critical. because Museveni doesn't get along with Bidandasari at a political level. And here is Bebe Cool trying also to make economic, because for him he can't make a loss, even if the revelers did not come.
According to Ramshana, Bobi Wine is not a threat to President Museveni.
Nobody around so far is a threat to Museveni in terms of elections, because he has the infrastructure to rig the elections. There is no one. Actually, he would be giving them freedom so that he becomes legitimate. In other words, they are not a threat to Museveni in terms of democracy, because I would say, as we have already observed, Museveni is the state, and you can't overthrow the state through democratic means.
German scholar Karl Marx once said that behind every revolution there is a poet, and maybe Bobi Wine is viewed by some as the voice of a section of the population that wants to see change. Olivia Komgisha, NTV Tonight.